you were an ex-Beatle by the time you were 29. So this extraordinary rush of worldwide fame and extraordinary experiences had happened to you and John Lennon as very young men. And ever since that time, people, some with knowledge, some without knowledge, have speculated about the nature of that collaboration, the nature of that relationship. What sense are you able to make of it now?
Well, you know, I think in life it's not that easy to analyze your relationships with people. Not just John. I think with anyone, it's not that easy. It's the way of any great love affair, or any family, or anything. And as you say, when fame's in there as one of the factors, it can get even more complicated.
The early stuff, the Hard Day's Night period, I call it, in the early period, was the early well, I'm equating it as the sexual equivalent of the beginning of a relationship of people in love.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you something. I think you'll understand when I say that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. Oh please, say to me, you let me be your man. And please, say to me, you let me hold your hand. You let me hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I can hide, I can hide, I can hide. Yeah, you got that something. I think you understand when I feel that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. And when I touch you, I feel happy inside. It's such a feeling that my love I can hide, I can hide, I can hide. Yeah, you got that something. I think you understand when I feel that something. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your hand. I wanna hold your
Singer in England, is it right?
Well, I don't know. My name's Paul, John, George, and Ringo.
And your age?
I'm 21, 22, 20, 22.
All right. Listen, how did your style begin?
How did it begin? Well, I don't know. He doesn't know. Neither do I, really. It's just one of those things that happened, you know, Johnny, in the far-off distant lands. Is it?
Invent this way of putting your jackets and stuff.
We got it from Paris, Pierre Cardin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Cardin.
And it's the idea is yours or somebody else?
No, Pierre Cardin in Paris. His original. As I said.
Oh,
He's a carver. Groups didn't used to have this sort of jacket. They used to wear ordinary suits. More like that. But we adopted this fashion, which it's a French fashion. From whom? Pierre Cardin.
And the songwriters in the Beatles, they are John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Right.
Tell us something about how you find this song, how you get the idea about the song.
Sometimes it's the words first, and then the music after.
And there's a story to this one, how we wrote it. You know, we were on tour, and we were in Newcastle, up to the north of England, and we were in a hotel room. We had about 3 days left in which to write a song. So we went to the hotel, and we booked in a room, and we just decided that we have to write a song very quickly. So we sat down, and no ideas came for a bit. We wrote I'll Get You, which is the B-side first, and then She Loves You came after that. You know, we got ideas from that. Yeah, see, if we write one song, then we can get going then, after that. And get more ideas after having written one song.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard.
Let's ask the boys, how much has this big thing affected your own personal lives? You know, has it changed you very much yourselves?
No, as you said, it doesn't. Well, nothing wrong with them.
You were always sort of there. Yeah.
Oh,
What about your folks? Do they resent not seeing enough of you now?
I think so, you know. We'd like to get...
He was glad to get rid of it.
Oh, there you go. No, we'd like to get back more than we do. But it's not always possible, you know.
How do you feel about this, Ken? Do you get tired travelling around the country?
It's nice to go to different places, visit, watch the way other people
hold their pints.
Behave.
What other relations have you got in Liverpool?
Liverpool? Well, there's my mam.
Yeah.
You got your mam there, haven't you?
Yeah.
And your dad.
Yeah.
How many of you have mums and dads there? You all
Mums and dads, yeah.
Me?
Oh, friends.
I have, yeah.
And brothers and sisters, you know.
And relatives.
Have you any children to speak of?
I've got one to speak of.
Oh, well, that's all right.
You can be big-headed and say, yeah, we're going to last 10 years. But as soon as you've said that, you think, you know, we're lucky if we last 3 months.
You know, we've thought about it, and probably the thing that John and I will do will be write songs as we have been doing as a sort of sideline now. We'll probably develop that a bit more, we hope. Who knows, at 40 we may not know how to write songs anymore.
And that goes for all of us. Watch out for the cars, suicide.
And what's your name? Hey, tack så mycket. Svenska? What you make? What's your name? What you make? Don't loud like him. No, I don't loud like him, but I am him. You're on board.
Come on board.
No, Paul McCartney, how you going?
All right, class. John Jagger.
All right, class. We got talking. Tell me a thing. What are you going to do on stage this time?
Sing.
Sing what?
Please sing All My Luggage.
Have you seen the people outside?
Yes, the very many's.
Yeah,
I love the
that's your
people.
new-
I love the people outside. Don't you, John?
It's just the
Wonderful
ones
people.
inside we don't like.
Thank you.
No,
Remember
I'm
last
only
time?
joking.
Yes,
I remember it well. I think.
Scrub it, scrub it.
How long do you think it'll last?
How long will it last? No idea. I think people ask us every day.
We've nearly come to the end of the little get-together now. So before we do our last numbers, we'd like to say... Shut up! Shut up.
I understand in about a week or 10 days you're going to be on the Ed Sullivan Show.
No, we need money first.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles!
Did you have a chance to get away from anybody at any time on the trip?
Yeah, you got away from me twice.
What did you most like about the trip, Ringo?
Oh, I just loved all of it, you know, especially Miami. The sun, you know. I didn't know what it meant until I went over there.
Did you ever have a chance, John, to just get away on your own without anybody recognising you?
We borrowed a couple of millionaires' houses, you know.
Well,
we did.
You could afford to buy a couple of millionaires' houses, couldn't you?
No, John, yeah. We'd sooner borrow them, it's cheaper.
Well, we just sort of went... Excuse me.
What about, is there any intention for you to go back to America or, in fact, join the brain drain in a big guitar drain and stay there?
We'd like to go back,
You know.
but we wouldn't stay there. We love England.
Can you speak with an American accent, Paul?
Can I? No.
You can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How about you, John? Do you speak American at all?
Here's one. Yes, hello, how are you? Is that American?
More Liverpool, I think.
More West Coast, I think.
Are you experts on accents?
Not really, no.
We can recognize them, though,
We
can't
can recognize them anyway, yes.
How are some of the accents? Could you show us?
You got the Cockney one, which is all like that, and it's all right, yeah. It's all right, in John, yeah.
Paul, yes.
You got it, yeah. I had him half an hour ago, John. It's all right, yeah.
You all right, Paul?
Then the Liverpool accent is a little bit different, because you can't hardly understand it if it's very broad, But my Uncle Harry, has got a very strong Liverpool accent.
It is the man from Capital.
That's him, yeah.
That's the fella.
And then we get the other accent, which is the girls who go to the dance hall in Liverpool. And it's a very strange accent, that, because it's all...
Hey, Paul, sing it for us, because it's Chris and Irene. We went round to Little Town all the other day.
That's another one, you see. It's very... there's many varied
exactly
accents.
two we've done.
And you got the Irish accent, which is just across the bay.
No, Paul, so much. In Edinburgh, they talk a bit like that, don't
I know,
they?
it's wonderful, John. I like the way you say that.
They don't exactly incline their voices so much as the rest of the Scots. But this voice definitely my Auntie Edie up there.
You see, she's got an auntie up there, and she speaks rather like that. All right, then, Mac. How are you, then?
John, why don't you wear your glasses on stage?
Because I'd lose my nerve if I could see everybody in the audience, you know.
Which do you prefer, mods or rockers?
Don't know. I like any of them. Mockers, I like. I think they're the best.
Now, George, how does it feel to have silver out?
Well, by gum, Paul, it's reet gum nice. Especially as how they've given us one each, you see, because usually they just give us one, and we got to cut it in 4 bits, you see.
Thank you,
So
George
it's nice,
Harrison.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Ringo,
Yes,
how do
sir.
you feel?
Oh, I feel very honoured. Honoured indeed, and pleased. You know,
Mr. Lennon.
These silver hearts are given by the Variety Club of Great Britain, which in less than 15 years has raised a staggering sum of over £1.5 million and given it all.
That one, that's my grandfather.
Well, you can see the real nervous bits. Normally in pictures you do things back to front, like the end. You make a film of that on one day, and then the next day you do the beginning. But in this one, we almost did it in sequence, one after the other. And the first bit we did was the train, which we're all dead nervous. You can see us, you know. Well, people that know us know, you know, that you know we're sort of dead nervous for the first. But practically the whole of the train bit, we're just going to pieces, you know, so embarrassed about it all.
And do you have a favourite song in the film called A Hard Day's Night?
Yes. Yes. There's a lot of songs in the film, about 7 or 8 new ones, and my particular favourite just happens to be A Hard Day's Night, which will be our next single release. And buy your copy or order your copy now. Thank you.
Well, I like that one too, George.
And also,
I like that one, and one called And I love her. Yeah, I love that.
Do you like that?
I love
thanks, Ringo.
And the way you sing it knocks me out. And the
it?
way that camera goes over your head.
Oh, you should see that shot of
I thought, hello.
Tell me, Paul, a song from the film, perhaps. Perhaps you got a favourite song from the film, have you?
Well, my favourite song really is one called If I Fell.
Shall we listen to that one for a while?
Yeah, let's do it.
If I fell in love with you, would you promise to be true and help me understand? 'Cause I've been in love before, and I found that love was more than just holding hands. If I give my heart to you, I must be sure from the very start that you're gonna love me more than her. If I trust in you, oh please don't run and hide. If I love you too, oh please don't hurt my pride like that. 'Cause I couldn't stand the pain, and I would be decided on your love was in vain. So you see that I would love to love you. I hope that she will cry when she hears we are two, and I hope she feels the pain, 'cause she's so decided on your love is in vain. So hope you see that I would love to love you. I hope that she won't cry when she learns we are two. So good. Gonna be too much in love. Oh, too much in love.
Let's meet the Beatles. I've got Paul and John.
John.
And Paul's talking to George and Ringo. Well, I said in my intro, and you were listening to it, that there have been a lot of changes since this time last year. Well, we've seen them, you know, we've seen you making films and doing all sorts of marvellous things, but what have the changes meant to you?
Nothing really. I think the main changes are in people's attitudes to you.
How?
I don't know. But it's people who change rather than you. You know, we feel exactly the same, really. Got a new suit, though.
But you've made a film since then, and you've just finished it.
Yeah.
Why did you make a film?
Well, it's a logical step, isn't it? And I believe it's quite lucrative. I believe.
Anyway, someone asked us. You know.
Yeah, we were asked to do it, and we said yeah. And Alan Owen wrote it, and we changed it, and we're all
It's called A Hard Day's Night.
Hard
At
Day's
your
Night.
local cinema now.
Not now.
Not now. Soon.
Do you find any difficulty in keeping up your public image? Just
No.
What image?
It's our image is just us. You know, as we were. We didn't try and make an image. It just happened, and so we don't have to keep it up. We just remain ourselves. Don't we, Ringo?
Well, we do. I mean,
Don't
the
know
other
about
two
that.
were worried about.
You write very good songs, don't you?
Thank you.
Hi.
Thank you.
How do you write songs?
Well, you know, we just depend. Sometimes we write them on old pianos and anything that's lying around, you know. Old tramps or anything.
You know, normally we sit down and try and bash one out, I think. But then again, there's no formula, because he can come up with one day completely finished. We still say we both wrote it, though.
When did you start writing songs?
I was about 2, I think. I wrote, "Pass me the bread, mother." Something like that.
No, it's more like when you were about
13 or 14.
Yeah.
When I got a guitar.
Writing them seriously?
What was the one you wrote? Down at that pen.
Boom.
Real funny songs then. Mine was "I Lost My Little Girl."
Did you know each other when you were 13?
Yeah, that's when we met.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us about the meeting.
At Woolton Village Fete.
I was
met
playing
him.
at a garden fete in the village where I lived, or
Playing
just
at
outside
what?
Liverpool.
Just
Playing with a group,
In a group.
you know, the skiffle group. And he came along and we met. And
I knew one of his mates. You know, Ivan was a mutual
very
mate.
complicated.
Hey, mutual mate of ours, and he introduced us and things.
In those days, has your in those days has your attitude to fans changed since then?
No, there's just more of them to watch.
But they all scream when they're listening to you.
Yeah, but we love that, you know.
Do you really?
Yeah, really, because it, like in Edinburgh, you know. I mean, you know, it's Glasgow tonight.
Yesterday, last
I
week.
shouldn't have said that. You know, I don't know. I've lost track of time. Anyway, the atmosphere in the theatre, really, it's marvellous. You know, you must come.
I will do. I'll try to come.
Good.
John's a girl in this thing.
Yeah, don't tell anybody.
No, he's John Lennon, a chick.
Well, somebody's got to be, you know. He's the fattest.
The two of the sweet days, these lily leaves. Cherry nose. It's Cherry Wainer. These yellow colored cheeks.
To explain to you, Paul just being deaded. Because he's Thisbe and he thinks his girl's dead, so he's stabbing himself, you see. Now he's fled. Look, his soul's in the sky. There he goes. Watch this boy move. Moon is Moon, which is played by George, takes his light away and leaves him to die in the dark. On comes John, thinking that his lover is dead, stabs himself.
We just got a very informal approach. We've got no formula at all, you know, for writing songs. We just do it as it happens. Sometimes John can write a line of a song. He can come up and say...
Things like that.
He could say that. He could just say that. He could just say that to me, and I could say, "No, John." And
often I disagree with Paul and say, which has been done so many times, it killed it.
But then sometimes, you know, we have a real row, and I say, "Listen here, John. I don't think that's right."
And John and I
probably
carry on.
We'll carry on songwriting, probably. In fact, he may say to me, "One sunny day, la 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 la." Hope Noel Cow's listening.
And best vocal record for dancing, She Loves You. Arriving to meet the citizens were John Lennon, two other Beatle regulars, and Jimmy Nicol. Paul McCartney was on the beat as usual.
This time I will try to show that I'm not trying to pretend.
The question we just had, were any of you in love?
Me?
Yes, he's married.
That's right. Yes, of course.
Does that put you in an exceptional position? Being
on
married?
Sunday, yeah.
On Sunday. Would you want to get married, the others?
No, I don't like marriage.
Why not?
No good marriage.
It's good.
What do you think?
I don't know, yeah. It's when I've got some more money.
What do you think of Dutch girls, as far as you've seen them? Any views?
Very good, yes.
Very good?
Very
What
nice.
select? Why?
What did you say?
Why?
Why are they good?
Yeah.
Well, all girls are good, actually, you know, but I mean...
What makes a girl good?
What makes a girl good? I don't know, you know.
Oh, no, I'm just helping it.
I said sport makes me ill.
Sport makes you ill.
Makes me ill, too.
Yeah.
What makes you feel good?
Sleeping
Sleeping.
and eating.
You've changed.
Changed.
Wouldn't say improved?
We've improved, yeah.
Question that people always ask you, what happens when you quit and how long it will go on?
We have a big holiday when we quit.
Yeah.
I play mouth organ.
Mouth organ.
And a little piano.
A little piano.
And a little banjo.
I play a little piano. It's about that big. Very little piano. And,
Could I have your autograph, please?
Oh, yes, certainly. Have you got a pen?
You're John Lennon, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, John Lennon.
John Lennon. What do you think of the reception here in Holland?
Very good, it was.
Very
Very
good?
good, yes.
Is it comparable to Copenhagen?
Yes, it is.
What do you think of Copenhagen?
It's beautiful.
Beautiful city? Beautiful Copenhagen.
Wonderful, what was done.
Yes, it's here.
Copenhagen.
And this is John.
Paul McCartney.
Paul
yes.
McCartney.
Made a mistake again, hey?
No, I never make a mistake
No.
again. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
You're a left-handed guitar player too?
Yes, it's done by mirrors.
By mirrors?
If you watch me in that mirror, I'm right-handed.
You're right-handed.
It's amazing, really. Hello.
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 You think you can keep that up, that tremendous success you have?
I don't know.
You're trying hard, aren't you?
Yeah.
Hong Kong.
John, I, being a little older than you for good-looking gentlemen, just a little older, as a matter of fact, I will remember the launching of Frank Sinatra and Johnny Ray and Elvis Presley. And yes, fantastic.
But even so, a lot of the success is due to
Oh, yes.
You know, is it?
Oh, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Jimmy, do you think that Brian Epstein's going to wave his magic wand at you sometime and include you as a fifth Beatle? Or a stand-in drummer for Ringo permanently?
Maybe if we had, we'd be a bit worried about that.
In South Australia, not only teenagers go wild over it, but maybe you noticed today coming in from the airport that a heck of a lot of adults, especially grandmas. Great. I noticed behind you in the car that you could sort of follow everything that was going on, people with different posters. You're really looking at the people, aren't you?
Sure. You're very aware of everything around you.
Yeah, well, I think you've got to be, you might get shot.
You see so many adults in the crowd. In some of the cities, there were thousands of adults watching, and it wasn't because they were with their children either. Do you welcome this adult, the adult fans that you have?
Yes, of course. We welcome anyone who's paying, even some who aren't. We don't think of them as anything sort of special. They're no more special than the kids. In fact, the kids are every bit as important.
I don't go for these gossip column type questions.
That's right,
But I wanted to ask you one question. Since there are so many girls who do like the Beatles, if you had to pick a wife, let's say, what type of things would you look for?
As John says, 2 legs, 2 arms. Special kind of things. I don't know. I like girls to be reasonably sensible. Don't like them to be stupid or dizzy. The dizzy blonde type. I can't stand. Sense of humour. I like girls to have yes, John laughing away. Like a girl to have a bit of a sense of humour,
You are a Beatle. You were one. That's right. And you're right. You're one of the songwriters of the Beatles. Probably, I don't think there's a person in the world who doesn't know the word Beatle or Beatles. Does this feeling of success thrill you, or has it become commonplace? Has it become a job?
It's nice, It's nice. I don't think it ever gets commonplace. I mean, in the papers every day when you read it, it reminds you. I don't know, none of us think of ourselves as sort of famous or anything. We just sort of think, well, it's us, the same group who was playing in the cavern, but we're just getting a bit more money now or something, or there's more people coming to our concerts, It just sort of feels like that. It just feels as though we're doing well at concerts, for some strange reason. Yes, Gene, this is Paul speaking, Paul McCartney.
Paul, you're the only unmarried Beatle, or are you the only married Beatle? No! Come on, tell me the
You got it mixed up, Gene. John's the only married one, and all the rest of us are unmarried and single and free and everything.
And you're available?
Yes.
And you're the married one, right?
Yeah, that's me, Gene.
What does your wife think about your traveling away all the time?
Well, she don't like it, Jean, much, but she doesn't mind too much because it makes a lot of money for her. Hey, Jean.
Why don't you come to Tampa and see us sometime?
Come where?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, I thought you said something else. Well, we'd love to. We'd love to do that, Jean. Maybe we will one day.
We'll be looking for you.
I'm going out with her.
Relationship, yes. Very close to a relationship. No. No, you don't believe me, I don't know.
Yes. Paul,
yes?
Is John the boss of the Beatles? Do you agree with that?
Is John the boss of the Beatles and can we have the noise down to a minimum? I don't know really. On some things he is. Some things he isn't.
No, I'm not.
No real leader anyway. Depends who shouts the loudest.
What is Paul drawing? You know, various members of the press conference. He always does it. What do they think about when they're imprisoned in their hotel room? More or less.
Think about anything.
Is that what you meant, madam? Yes.
We don't think about one thing. Well, some of them do.
Well, pretty fine.
Did you get to see the presidential sign?
No. The only bit we've seen so far is the hotel.
What kind of girls do you prefer?
My wife.
Your wife. What kind of girl is she?
She's a nice girl.
Nice girl.
Is this?
Ringo, when you marry, what kind of girl are you gonna?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't sorted one out yet. I like them all.
George. Yeah, how about that? What kind of girl do you like?
John's wife.
John's wife. Tony. Such a clown.
Nobody likes a smart aleck.
No, last night you had a lot of difficulty getting into the cabana. Did any of you get hurt at all?
George got kicked. I got punched in my face a few times, but I mean that's part of life, isn't it?
We're rolling now.
All right.
We're going to put the stage on down to New Orleans.
Yeah.
Y'all going to New Orleans tonight?
No, we were there the other night. Very hot there, you know. Very hot.
Okay, lads, you're pretty regular top of the pollsters. What do you think about this election business?
Very good.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah. Good stuff, this election stuff.
It's all right if you win.
Do you think it's harder being a politician than being a pop star?
Yes, definitely.
Probably. Very much so. How's your father?
Never been a politician, though.
What do you think is going to happen if you have to nationalise you then?
Southern Ireland.
Well, we'll have to move out, won't we?
Yeah.
We'll have to go and live in Germany or someplace like that. Southern Ireland is nice down there.
It's only half an hour away.
Yeah. That's a bit of a drag getting up in the morning, but apart from that, and the waiting round, it's great fun. We have a great laugh, don't we, fellas?
Yes, we do,
Yes,
George.
we
Yeah, it's great episode, as George said, for getting up in the morning. We hate getting up, you know.
Especially when you go to bed about 3 in the morning, you know, it's very difficult to get up at 6.
No, it's a drag. If there were no kids, I think it would be a drag. You know, we'd say, what's happened? We'd say, how would we say it?
We'd say, what happened? There's not half as much excitement when there's just nobody around, you know. I mean, it's nice occasionally to get a quiet spell. For instance, like when we were in the Bahamas, you know, that was nice and quiet. And Austria, pretty quiet. But doing tours and things, you know, that's always more hectic.
A woman came up and says, I've got a so-and-so-year-old daughter, but I couldn't care less myself. You know, something like that, she said. And I thought it was pretty rude, seeing as we were eating at the time as well, in the middle of a meal. So we were just a bit cold towards her. And she probably thought we had no right to be, but she forgets that we're human, you see.
But if someone comes up to us and is rude to us, then we'd be idiots, you know, just to sort of stand there and smile as they were being rude to us, you know. I mean, nobody's going to take that, and it doesn't matter whether you're a public figure or anything. But it's all good fun. We enjoy it. Filming, making records, concerts. You know us, a laugh a minute. Ha, 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 ha. What happens is that we just shove them in anywhere. Yeah, we just write the songs first, and then just shove them in anywhere, as George said, especially in the sunset scene at the very end of the picture, where the two lovers, that's George and Ringo, are coming towards each other on the beach, and they just finally meet and both dive into the sand, and as they do, the sun goes down.
You're telling him too much about the
I'm
story.
sorry, I've told you
they
too
won't
much
go
of
to
the-
see it if you tell them all
Okay.
about that.
I've told them about the vintage car race.
The vintage car race?
Well, that's another scene where we all go from Brighton to Egmerton, and none of us win, unfortunately, and it just about ends there.
We read that there was some adverse comment in England about a couple of you fellows taking the girls on a holiday. How did you react to this? What did you think of this? What's your point of view? People here would like to know.
Narrow-minded. Something like that. That's what I like to say.
You don't know, they either go out with girls and get talked about, or don't, and get talked about more, don't they?
Stick it up for us, please.
A lot of people say your pieces are sick. What do you say to them?
If it makes people sick, they're sick, but I can read it without... It doesn't appear sick to me.
Some of the members of the troupe, Phil, became very indignant. They told us that Minneapolis was a very narrow-minded town, as were its police officials, and that other cities had been very tolerant to the parties that they had held in their rooms. We had no trouble, Phil, with 3 of the Beatles because they had, upon returning from the show at Met Stadium, had gone to the hotel, had had a lunch, and had gone right to bed. We did have trouble, however, with the report of a girl in one of their rooms, that of Paul McCartney, and that they were in violation of a city ordinance, that of false hotel registration.
There's always got to be something wrong with the job. You know, there must be something wrong with your job that you don't like. Well, the only thing wrong with ours, everything else is perfect. The only thing is we don't get quite enough privacy.
Never heard of that, and it could only be written in America or happening.
There's so many organisations over here, you know, that are nuts anyway, you know. Aren't there?
I mean, there must
I mean,
be
you
nuts.
far right organisations. You've got so many.
They're so far right, they want to get off.
Yeah, one for Paul. Are you planning to marry Jane Asher?
No, of course. How are you planning? I haven't got any plans, you know, that's all there is. But everyone keeps saying I have. So maybe they know more than me.
Yes? What did you want to do before you became a Beatle?
Nothing. I didn't want to do anything else. Honest.
What did you want to do before you became a Beatle?
Nothing really. I just wanted to be rich, you see. Well, I wanted to be a Beatle mainly.
What do you define as a Beatle?
As what we are, you know.
Maureen Cleave, who was a London journalist, had a very good line in a piece on this disc when she wrote, "How can a dirty great voice like that come out of such a face?" I think it's often surprising that with a face like yours, a sort of angelic face, the face of a delinquent choir boy, somebody once said, that you have actually got many voices. One of them, what you might call a coloured voice. That was your coloured voice, and she's a woman, wasn't it?
Yeah, my green voice now.
Tell us a bit about your home, where you live now, John. Sort of how big is the house and what sort of area does it cover?
Well, it's in what they call the stockbroker area, and everybody thinks you move pop stars. I don't know what other pop stars move into places like that for. I moved in because it was about the third house I looked at and I had to get out of a flat quick. And I didn't care where it was, as long as it was somewhere quite quiet. Yeah. And I really wanted to live in London, but I wouldn't risk it till it's really quietened down.
How big, in fact, is the house you're in?
It's quite big. It had a lot of bedrooms, but it said it had about 10 when I got in there, but they called anything a bedroom, you know. Yeah. It's probably got about 6 now. It's 3 floors, though. It's quite big. But it seemed massive when I walked in, but it gets smaller as you get used to it. When I first got the original roles, I couldn't drive. Well, I hadn't passed my test and never bothered, because I wasn't very interested in it anyway, driving. But when all the others passed, I thought I better do it, or I just sort of get left.
Do you have any kind of political leanings at all?
I have, you know, but I can never place what they are. You know what I mean? I can go on about it.
They don't fit into any party line?
They're not any party line I've heard of yet. I don't object to people inheriting money or having a big lot of money. I never did. But I do object to people being stony broke and starving, you know.
Now, John, you have from time to time been criticised, attacked is probably a better word, on the basis that you just don't care about anything or anybody. I'm sure this isn't true, but would you tell us what is the thing that you care most about?
Well, I mean, obviously the first thing you think about is yourself and your family. So I care about them, so whoever said I didn't care about anybody's wrong for that. There's plenty of things I care about, but all the things I've known for not caring about are things that a lot of people don't care about, and it's usually, you know, a certain type of person that cares about them, and I'm one of the, you know, just things in general that aren't important to me, yeah, that seem important to other people.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a sin or a crime.
And when you're not being a Beatle, what sort of things interest you most?
I like lots of things, you know. I like music, just anyway. I like writing music. I mean, that's sort of almost even apart from the Beatles. Mind you, we record everything that we write, so...
Yeah. You've attracted a fair amount of publicity of late by attending unusual sort of concerts and plays and things, haven't you?
The newspapers, they wrote up, I went to see this fellow who's just a composer, and I'd heard some of his music, and and a bit of it was electronic, you know, and it was sort of quite interesting. It sounded all new and everything, you know. And I went along, and then the papers sort of wrote it up. No wonder he was there, you know. It was about electronic music, like sort of, you know. It was a drag, you know.
Yes, yeah.
Because that's the trouble, you get put into a pigeonhole. I don't care how many statistics they produce, I'm still a bit nervous about flying, you know.
Yeah, yeah. So you wouldn't want to take that up.
It's funny you should say that, because I had a go of a plane, and I was flying it, and it was different then. Because, you know, when you're a driver and you're in the backseat of someone else's car, I'm terrified, you know, I don't like it unless I'm driving. And it was like that with the plane, it was fantastic. So, you know, that may be a great thing.
I think, so really you'd say you're a doer and not a watcher?
I think so, probably. I think I'm a watcher up to a point. I like watching until I think, you know, it'd be good to do. Or, you know, I might be able to do that and get something out of it.
Man wriggles, his flesh nerves grow viscous, transparent jelly, with sway green nestling, unlaying monster black centipedes. Waves of unknown sticks searing the mud, grabbing the stomach. Jacob wrings his hands softly. Clarence, how can I do this to you? Ingrates, every one of them ingrates. Conference start back muttering this way. I'm afraid Shaver has gone a bit too far.
I've got a list of at least 300 recordings that have been made in this country alone by all sorts of people who have taken a fancy to different types of Lennon and McCartney songs. And the two gentlemen concerned are sitting with me now in the sitting room of Paul McCartney's house. How far do you feel that your individual talents are dependent upon each other? I mean, are you sort of Gilbert and Sullivan or Rodgers and Hammerstein? Do you need to work together as composers?
No, not really, but it helps a lot.
Just on the old maxim of two minds are better than one.
Yeah.
You get another point of view as well.
The thing is, because we can do them on our own, but often one of us will just do a song and there'll be, say, one verse in it that's very bad or something, and it's very corny, and if I've written it, then I'll sort of take it along and sing it to John. And he'll say, that verse is terrible and that verse is corny. Come in, Mrs. Higgins.
So you still get so involved in something, you finish it, if you're on your own, you haven't got the energy to go over it and sort of see, you know, if it really makes exactly what you want. So if you sing it over to each other, even if it's a finished song, you know, with almost the arrangement, it's still sort of, yes, that's fine.
Your milk, John.
Thank you, Mrs. Higgins.
Oh, thank you.
It's really nice to hear that.
Mrs. Higgins arriving with 3 glasses of milk.
It's not even Mrs. Higgins either.
Oh, well. Yeah, you've got me on bus drive.
That's Mr. Higgins.
Oh, yes. Do you consider that do you consider you think alike, or do you think differently and therefore help each other?
We think nearly alike, but pretty differently at the same time. But I mean, you know, we can write a song, say like Day Tripper, where we've got to write one, and at the same time be the same writing it. You know, we can write it thinking the same thing about it. But if we each wrote it individually, it'd be a completely different song.
Yeah. The songs like And I Love Her, If I Fell, Michelle Yesterday, are more winsome type songs.
You'll have to excuse the dog, listeners, but he doesn't know we're on the radio.
How old is this dog?
7 weeks, actually, 7 weeks, so it doesn't really understand about the BBC yet.
What type of dog is it?
Old English sheepdog. It will be eventually.
It's a young English
At the
sheepdog.
moment, it's a spaniel.
Right, where have we got to? Oh yes, these songs. Do you prefer writing at night? Are you night workers?
No, any time really. You know, when you're awake. Not too near the morning when you're half asleep, and not when you're tired, so it doesn't matter what time it is, but just the period when you feel quite healthy.
Do you use piano, guitars, what, when you're playing?
Anything, you know, piano or
we can
guitar. Yeah, that's about our limit.
I'm just finding I don't know enough chords to write them with the guitar, so I'll have to get some old fella to come in and play to me.
It's got to be an old fella, though.
Yeah.
Couldn't be one of these young whiz-bang kids, you know.
Well, there it is. It's been very enjoyable in your own, in the incredible quiet of your own sitting room, Paul.
It's very quiet in here, Keith, except for the dogs howling and the clock ticking. And
otherwise,
well, it's been nice to have you, really.
John, thank you very much too for coming over.
My pleasure. It was
away from your home.
Anytime you're
nice
around,
paddy's
pop
well,
in.
isn't it, as they say in the teen rave.
Teenage rave. Well, thanks, Keith. And if you're ever around this way again, pop in.
Do you write most of the lyrics, or do you write the music, or is it Paul?
No, it's never like that, you know. I've written a song with a verse, say, and I've had it for a couple of weeks, and I just don't seem to be getting any more verses. So I just say to Paul, jingling-jing, have you got any verses for this? And then we either both write them, and you say, yeah, we'll have this or that. It's very haphazard, you know. There's no sort of rules for writing.
Is there any particular song, since you've been on the scene, that you favour most of all? Do you have a favourite?
I like Here, There and Everywhere.
Oh, what? We're not horrid snobby. Yes, you are. No, we seem
That's your version.
Only in your mind, we are.
Because we're not flattering you.
You know, you expect sort of nice answers to all the questions. But if the questions aren't nice questions, they don't have to have nice answers.
John.
Paul, Harold, George.
On the left. This way?
No, John.
Whoa, sorry, come back. Here. Yes. Oh.
Well, my name is Eric. Good to meet you.
Hello, Eric.
Welcome to Japan. Well, I'll be the MC for your show at, well, I have a free questionnaire. You have a good sleep?
Yes, fine.
Did you have any knowledge about Japan before coming? A little.
Yes, a little bit, you know, not much though.
Not
about
much.
as much as we know about most places we go to.
I see. Well, how the Japanese fans?
Great. Seem very great, yeah. We get lots of letters from Japan.
Oh, but you didn't meet them at the airport?
No,
we couldn't see a thing
well, we
with the
came
television
in.
lights.
It's amazing security, you know. I've never seen so many people guarding us.
And so we don't want you to be hurt or anything,
No.
so we're trying our best.
But we don't want the security to hurt the fans, you know. Don't get too rough with them.
And, well, I understand you met your queen. And
Yeah.
what was the impression?
Oh, she's okay.
Very good. How did you feel when you received the medal?
Well, it was nice.
Tired. It was early in the morning. Oh, about 10 o'clock.
You had to get up. You hate to get up.
We don't like to get up too early.
Well,
because
and
we don't go to bed till late.
And what musician and composer do you respect most?
No, I don't know, really. John Lennon.
Paul McCartney. And Paul's marriage,
Yes.
question.
It's not true.
It's not true.
It's wrong. It's George's marriage.
George's marriage.
These three are married.
How many times do you wash your hair in a week?
About once.
Once in a week.
It depends, you know.
Depends how hot it is, how dirty it gets.
Depends what
You
you're
cut
doing.
them often?
That's the same, you know, whenever you feel like this. You don't do it every week, you don't do it every month, you know, it just happens.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you
Now what do we do?
So now say goodbye.
We decided on this Tomorrow Never Knows, Weird Effects.
Weird Effects. Well, see, we wrote the song, and it was a very funny song from the start because John came up with the lyrics to it. And he'd just been reading Tibetan Book of the Dead. And we only had one verse. I think we stretched it to sort of 2 verses. And we couldn't think of any more words because we'd sort of said it all what we wanted to say in about 2 verses. So we had to try and work out how to sort of do it and how to make it different. So I decided to do some of those loops that I've been doing on my home tape recorder. And they're just tape loops.
Did you find opposition from people who want you to play to the teenagers?
I mean, if we just suddenly did exactly what we'd want to do, in fact, I think actually at the moment that is what we want to do, what we've done on Revolver. But if we did like all the way out things, I mean, I suppose people think they're way out. I don't actually, but that kind of thing. If we did a whole album of them, then we'd be doing what like the people who do electronic music do. They go too far out too suddenly, and no one stays with them. Everyone else is left behind because they're miles out ahead, sort of digging all this electronic stuff. But in fact, what we've tried to do is like do the last album, Rubber Soul, a bit more towards that, then this one a bit more, and the next one should be a bit more. And if people stay with us, you know, it's great then.
Making all nowhere plans, doesn't have a point of view, knows not where he's going to.
The world's most famous 4 are back in England. It was early morning, but the fans were in force at London Airport. The Beatles offended some folks at Manila, but it was only by accident that they didn't attend an official lunch.
Did they come up and start physically threatening you?
Yeah,
no, go on, you say
we
that.
got to the airport, and our road managers had a lot of trouble trying to get the equipment in because the escalators had been turned off and things. So we got there and we got put into the transit lounge. And then we got pushed around from one corner of the lounge to another, you know.
You treat like ordinary passenger, passenger, they say. Because an ordinary passenger, he doesn't get kicked, does he?
And so they started knocking over our road managers and things, and everyone was falling all over the
They
place.
started worrying you when the road manager got knocked over.
Yeah, and I swear there was 30 of them.
What do you say there were?
Well, I saw 5 in sort of outfits, you know, that were sort of doing the actual kicking and booing and shouting.
Did you get kicked in?
No, I was very delicate and moved every time they touched me.
John is deeply concerned and regrets that people with certain
religious beliefs should have been offended in any way whatsoever. Hello, John. Are you looking forward to the tour?
Yes.
Now, this religious controversy, I know you don't want to say too much about it, but does it worry you that it's going to boil up when you get to the States?
Well, it worries me, yes, but I hope everything will be all right in the end, as they say.
Do you think this is going to be a controversial tour like the Philippines was?
Oh, no. No, it's going to be fine.
What makes you say that, Paul?
Oh, it'll be fine. You watch.
They will be destroyed in a huge public bonfire at a place to be named soon. Stay tuned to Wacky for further development.
Well, originally I was pointing out that fact in reference to England, that we meant more to kids than Jesus did, or religion at that time. I wasn't knocking it or putting it down, I was just saying it as a fact. And it is true, especially more for England than here. You know, I'm not saying that we're better or greater or comparing us with Jesus Christ as a person or God as a thing or whatever it is. You know, I just said what I said and it was wrong or was taken wrong, and now it's all this.
How do you feel about the record burnings here in the United States?
Well, I think, you know, that it's a bit silly. It seems a bit like a publicity stunt on their part, you know. And we could do the whole show business bit of answering very vague answers and doing a very dishonest thing. But, you know, all we're trying to do is answer honestly. And, you know, if people want us to answer like showbiz personalities, we'll do that, you know. But I think it's better for us and for everyone else if we answer honestly, even though we may not be right all the time, you know.
What about these stories, the effect that you're not as nice to your father?
Well, I don't know my father. I saw him twice in my life till I was 22 when he turned up after I'd had a few hit records. And I saw him, I spoke to him, and I decided I still didn't want to know him. And that's all there is to it. If you'd like to go around and see all my nice good acts, you can look them up in your book, you know. He just happens to be related.
Paul, I noticed something last night. It was the first concert I'd ever seen, and of course I saw them all on the last year tour, where I was right in front of the stage the way it was set up in Detroit, and I guess I was about 15 feet from you guys.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen before the looks, you and John, especially when you sing on one microphone, like looking at each other and laughing out of the corner of your eyes and just having fun. Now, you're not doing that for the benefit of the audience, because only the first couple of rows can see that. Is it really that much fun every time?
Oh, well, the thing is, you know, I mean, probably things like that. If something goes wrong, say, you know, if somebody hits a bum note, well, we can either just suddenly panic or try and treat it as a bit of fun, you know. And that's normally what happens. We were just laughing about some mistake that we made.
Like?
Well, I don't know, yesterday was pretty foul yesterday. I don't know, John made some mistake at the end of it, and it put me off, so I made a mistake, and it was just...
Yes. Recently, have you seriously considered breaking up?
That's what you mean by breaking up. You know, we haven't actually thought, you know, the time has come for us to break up, but we've realized the possibility of, you know, our breaking up as an actual sort of natural progression. Because we can't go on forever like this, so we've got to think now and prepare for, you know, if it did happen. Which it should, you know. It's got to sometime.
Realistically, then you are considering a natural progression.
Yeah, how long it'll take,
you know, we
nobody
can't
knows.
consider it any other way, because it's, you know, it's not going to go any other way. It's going to progress and just end up as something. And you know, we think about it now so that we're not at a loss when it does happen.
Now, speaking of back home in England, Paul, where is it you're exactly living now? Is it in the centre of London or out on one of the counties?
No, it's just about 2 minutes outside London, in St John's Wood, you know.
You're not living in Weybridge or Esher with the other lads?
I mean, I did think, obviously, you know, well, I ought to sort of go out to Weybridge and things, but I mean, I've talked to the others about it since, and we've all decided that it would be silly for me to, like, buy a house in Weybridge that I wasn't very keen on. And we can still get to see each other dead easily. You know, I mean, we only live sort of at the most, say, half an hour away from each other. So we're still in pretty good contact, you know, and if I want to go out for a swim, I go out to their place.
Oh, marvellous. I heard you took a trip to Spain before once, didn't you, on holiday?
I didn't go to Spain, no. I tried once to make Spain, and John and I were going to hitchhike. But we hitchhiked down from Liverpool. We didn't hitchhike, no, we got the train down from Liverpool because we thought, well, we won't hitchhike the first bit. And we got the boat over to Paris, and we got the train into Paris because we thought, well, it'd be too hard to get a hitch here. And we just stayed in Paris all week. Eventually, I mean, all the time trying to get out of Paris and make Spain, you know. We never made it. We just flew home at the end. Real lazy hitchhiking holiday.
Lennon, do you consciously put a message in your songs as a sort of crusade, or do you just write songs that you think you like because other people will like them?
I don't know, you know, I don't write them for other people, really. They're only for other people after they're finished. If they like them or not, then, you know, when I write them or we write them, you know, it's got to be for yourself.
What is the most important thing in life?
Love.
Mr. Lennon and Mr. McCartney primarily, with the background instrumentalization for Eleanor Rigby, aren't you really heading into something very new?
Very old. Violins are old.
What's happening to pop music now, going back?
It's not.
It's progressing, you know.
You know, it's progressing because it's having new things with the old instead of just the old on its own or just the new. It's combining them, you know, and it's taking bits from everything and being, I don't know, liberal. Yes, I mean, you know, we could go anything.
But not totally. Oh, I could.
Writing Eleanor Rigby and Yellow Submarine, are you trying to establish any sort of a trend in music, like away from rock?
No, I don't think we ever try to establish trends. You know, we try to keep moving forward and do something different. And if in the meantime it starts trends, well, you know, that's okay, but we never try consciously to start them.
Certainly original.
Thank you.
Well, everything's possible, you know. There's no answer to that. We're obviously not going to go around holding hands forever. We've got to split up or progress. I mean, we might, you know, it might happen, you know. It's quite possible.
I got about 10 variations to the story on how you should use them to get the record straight.
It was Christmas, and I'd had a few drinks, and I went for a ride on a moped, and I was watching the moon, and I fell off.
The Klan is going to come out here because we're the only organization that will come out and make a stop to these accusations. This is nothing but blasphemy. We're known as a terror organization. I think we have...
A terror organization?
We have ways and means to stop this if this is going to be the case, yes.
What ways and means?
Well, I don't want to say this, but there'll be a lot of surprises Monday night, I believe, when they get here.
It seems to me you've always been successful because you've been outspoken, direct and forthright and all this sort of thing. Does it seem a bit hard to you that people are now knocking you for this very thing?
Yes, Richard. It seems hard. It seems hard. You know, free speech. It doesn't matter about people not liking our records or not liking the way we look or what we say. You know, they're entitled to not like us. We're entitled not to have anything to do with them if we don't want to, or not to regard them. You know, we've all got our rights, you know.
the thing is, I think, you know, you can say things like that in England, and people will listen a bit more than they do in America, because in America somebody will take it up and use it completely against you, and not have many scruples about doing that. And I don't know. You know, I'm probably putting my foot in it saying that, but...
You'll be explaining for the next
Yeah,
time.
I know. Oh well, it's just wonderful here.
There was a rumor carried in the New York press and on radio this past week that you're all wearing wigs because you were trying to join a London club, which is very exclusive. Is it true or false? Are you wearing wigs?
Oh, do you believe that? Do you? No, it's not.
Your hair looks much more uniform than it did 2 years ago.
Thanks, honey. I just bought that farm because it was very cheap, and I always wanted a farm. It's a nice place.
Now, what about this compared to England? Can you say things like this in England without being bombarded by the press and radio and television?
Well, I said it in England, you see, and I wasn't bombarded. But see, there's no sort of DJs needing publicity in England.
What is it with you and Jane now? What is your relationship? Are you planning a marriage? Are you planning an engagement? Are you just boyfriend and girlfriend? What is it? Tell us the whole thing.
We're just queer. That's the scene. That's the scene. But I mean, I couldn't say that on the air live, you know. No, the thing is, Cousin Bruce, we haven't got plans to marry yet, you know. That's the point.
What would you like in a gal that you wanted to marry and then you bring home to mommy?
Female hormones.
No, I don't want you to insult anybody, but I'm asking your personal opinion now, Paul McCartney. Why aren't we ready for a thing like this? Why can't John Lennon anywhere make a statement like this? And why can't we accept this?
It's really much too big a thing just to go into like that. If you want sort of my real opinion, you know, I mean, because it involves everything. It involves the whole bit about America revolving around money. You know, which is why this whole thing started, that the fellow wanted publicity for his station, which was going downhill. And so he picked up on it. And then it involves a lot of bigotry. But there's a lot of bigotry in every country, you know. But there just happen to be more people in the States, and the whole thing snowballed, you know. And there are millions of minor reasons which contributed to the whole thing.
Do you think this controversy has hurt your careers or has helped you?
It hasn't helped or hindered it, I don't think. I think most sensible people took it for what it was, and it was only the bigots that took it up and thought it was, you know, on their side. They thought, haha.
In a recent article, Time magazine put down pop music, and they referred to Day Tripper as being about a prostitute, and Norwegian Wood as being about a lesbian. Now, I just wanted to know what your intent was when you wrote it, and what your feeling is about the Time magazine criticism of the music that is being written today.
We were just trying to write songs about prostitutes and lesbians, that's all.
How has your image changed since '63? Is it a little more, is it the same?
An image is how you see us, so, you know, you can only answer that.
You're the only one that knows.
Will you be working separately in the future? Or together?
It's all together, probably.
Together? John Lennon, aren't you doing the picture alone?
Yeah, but I mean, that's only in the holiday bit, you know.
I see.
In between Beatles.
The Beatles are coming to Candlestick. Yes, KYA welcomes the Beatles back to San Francisco. It's bigger because it's in Candlestick Park with thousands of good seats so everyone can see. It's better because the special Beatles sound system means you'll hear everything the Beatles sing and say. Don't be left out as KYA welcomes the Beatles to the final appearance of their spectacular American tour. Monday, August 29th, 8 p.m. Tickets are now available through...
If you had a show on the radio, and you had 3 hours to do what you liked in, you know, if you didn't have to play records, would you philosophize or just do a normal radio show?
Neither. I'd just do good fun and laughs, I suppose, and a few sounds.
You think it's good to hear somebody having a good time on the air?
Just a few, just something nice to hear. You know, I wouldn't mind doing shows like that, make them at home.
Do you really?
I quite fancy it, you know. Paul and I often talk about it.
Do you have tape recorders in your house?
Yes.
feel, and you just chat away.
Yes, and do loops and whatever you do.
This must surely be one of the most unusual locations in the world, John. I wonder if you could describe it and tell us exactly where we are and what's going on here.
You're asking me where we are. Well, you know, as far as I know, we're somewhere in Spain. It could be anywhere for all I know, actually. And it's just like a, I don't know, it's like a dump, really. It's like the moon, you know, just desert and sand and hills and mountains. But not very nice to look at, but the weather's okay, now and then. I felt like doing something for a change, you know, and this just happened to come up at a time when I felt in that mood, you know.
You know what's marvelous, John, in the last couple of years? The wonderful, wonderful songs that have come out of you and Paul, and that really have established you in the complete universal audience as what you always were, great songwriters, you know, Michelle, you know, and Yesterdays and all. It's just wonderful standards. And as you know, everybody's done them from Count Basie to Ella Fitzgerald, which is, must be a great satisfaction for you.
It is, you know, it's great. It's great doing them, see how they do it too.
Because, you know, with the initial, I remember when the first time we met, and as always when a new group cracks through, the skeptics, the doubters and so forth, finally the proof which was always there, finally, you know, everybody realized, hey, wow, these guys really are great songwriters, you know, something that you knew all the time. But then
we
these
didn't
marvelous
really know.
standards
You don't know till it happens.
But nobody thought you could write songs like Michelle and Yesterday.
No, because they were too busy just looking at the Beatle image. You know.
You like the soft things like that, or?
Yeah, I like it.
Getting romantic in your old age, huh?
I always had a bit of romantic in me. You know.
This new guise of yours with the shorter hair, has it given you some kind of joy, or some sadistic joy in the privacy you've been able to enjoy?
Well, you know, I went around Paris, the flea market, and went on a bus there and did all things I hadn't done for a long time. It was great. I know we've got music to write as soon as we get back. And Paul's just signed us up to write the music for a film. So I suppose it's off the plane and into bed and knock, 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 get up and write some songs.
A film that's not your own.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Monsieur le noble est très triste depuis que sa femme l'a quitté avec un tout jeune artiste qu'elle a connu cet été. Et monsieur le noble écoute la mélodie qu'elle aimait, ces quelques notes goutte à goutte l'empoisonnent à jamais. T'as pas profité de ta chance, mon ami, mon ami. Tu avais trop de confiance, c'est fini, c'est fini. T'avais une femme merveilleuse, si jolie, si jolie. T'as pas su la rendre heureuse, t'es tout seul, elle est partie.
Can I have a word? Are the Beatles going to go their own ways in 1967?
They could be, you know, on our own or together. We're always involved with each other, whatever we're doing.
Could you ever see a time when, in fact, you weren't working together?
I could see us working not together for a period, but we'd always get together for one reason or other. I mean, you need other people for ideas as well, but, you know, and we all get along fine.
Will you be doing films on your own next year?
No, I don't want to make a career of it. I did it just because I felt like doing it, and if Dick Lester asked me, and I wouldn't have done it if the others hadn't liked it. They said fine, because we were on holiday anyway.
What's the songwriting team thing will keep going on whatever happens, will it?
Yeah, we'll probably carry on writing music forever, you know.
Good evening.
Hello.
John Edwards, right here.
How are you?
Can I just have a brief word with you?
Yeah?
If you never toured again, would it worry you?
I don't know. No, I don't think so. Performance for us. See, it's gone downhill, performance, because we can't develop when no one can hear us, you know what I mean? So for us to perform is, it's difficult, gets difficult each time. We're trying to get better with things like recording.
How are you? Can I stop you? Well, have a brief word with you. I just want to ask you, do you think that in the new year that you're going to be going your own ways instead of being in a group?
No.
No?
No, definitely not.
Do you foresee a time when, in fact, the Beatles won't be together and that you'll all be on your own?
No.
Do you get, have you got tired of each other?
No.
No?
It's a bit too controlled, you know, because you suddenly, you want to go and do something and somebody says, oh, no, subsection B, clause A, you can't do that, you know. And you say, well, why not? Because, you know, I'm a human being and that, and haven't I got my rights? I say, well, yes, but you're not allowed to do that. And you say, well, you know, if it doesn't interfere with anyone, it must be okay. And they say, sorry, it still isn't, you know. So people have suddenly, I think a lot of people have twigged that this, they've shut themselves in a bit, you know. They've got all these rules for everything, rules of how to live, how to paint, how to make music. And it's just not true anymore, you know. They don't work all those rules. A lot of people anyway think like that, you know. Once they see you say something about Vietnam, they think, ah, of course, that's what he is, you know. He's a crank about Vietnam. That solves it. And I get a bit of that, you know, because I'm, you know, I fit into a neat little pigeonhole, which is like, I don't know, rock and roll gone too far, you know. I think that's what people think. Of course, he's cracked. He's nuts now. Trouble is that all these rules, people getting frightened once they see someone who doesn't agree with the rules, you know, because it's breaking the whole foundation of everything they believe in and live in, you know. So that when these weirdos, inverted commas, come up and say, you know, look, my hair's long and it's great, you know, I'm growing a beard, you know, and I don't care about you and stuff, then the people think, well, you know, what is this, man, you know? He should stick along with it all like us. And then even if he says, well, you know, you're all wrong, your rules are wrong, they don't want to know, really. You know, because that's their life, that's their whole shell. So you can't really come along and just burst it. You've got to do it very gently and say, you know, look, I really wish the people that look sort of with anger at the weirdos, at the happenings, at the psychedelic freakouts, would instead of just looking with anger, just look with nothing, with no feeling, you know, be unbiased about it. Because they really don't realize that what these people are talking about is something that they really want themselves. It's something that everyone wants. You know, it's personal freedom to be able to talk and be able to say things. And it's dead straight. It's a real sort of basic pleasure for everyone. But it looks weird from the outside. But it isn't. You know, I don't think anyone's going to come up with the answer for a long time. But at the moment, there are just sort of a few new fields that are getting opened. And people are saying, you know, well, this could be possible and this could be true. You know, and it's really just, it needs everyone in the world to realize that inside them is the same thing that's inside everyone. You know, and that's all there is to it. And there's nobody better than anyone else.
the thing is, I mean, you've obviously reached a stage where you don't have to write any more songs for any reason at all other than you like doing it. So.
But it's always been like that. That's the good thing.
Yeah?
That's the, you know, because it has been a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
And it still is, you know. It'll go on forever, probably.
And is touring now completely out everywhere?
I reckon so, yeah.
Well, the thing is, we're working on an act where we run on in brightly coloured suits and switch on 5 tapes.
Yeah, that's
and then we do a juggling act at the front of the stage while these tapes play Beatles melodies.
Yeah. Why is it? I don't know why this microphone seems you balmy, because when I was talking to John earlier, he was quite serious and said, no more tours.
Well, that's the only possibility. You never know, you know.
No more tours, no more She Loves Yous, you know. But I mean, going on with a million tape recorders and a brightly coloured suit, well, that's something else.
There have been reports in the last week or two about you writing this musical we've been hearing about for years. True or false?
False, I think.
False, I think.
False.
Come on, you're not going to do it.
I don't think so.
Unless it was a musical with 1,000 tape recorders and brightly coloured costumes.
We're no nearer then, this projected musical.
No, we're not going to write
all of those kind of things, though, you know, we might do in the next few years, you know, but this is the idea, to give us a chance to try other things, you know, but we don't know what they're going to be yet.
So there we go, Yellow Submarine, best-selling A-side number in Britain last year, for which, John and Paul, you get this.
And we are truly grateful.
Great.
That is really wonderful.
Great.
It's, I see, it's inscribed on the side of it.
That's another one for Brian's piano.
Well, this is wonderful, Brian, and I'd like to thank everybody on behalf of John, George, Ringo, and myself.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. Hooray. The gentleman responsible, who was principally responsible, Paul or John?
Paul, John, really.
No.
I see.
Yes, no, it's the old Patty, you know, the old vaudeville. I suppose I thought of the idea, and then John and I wrote it. There's your correct answer.
Right. Yeah. What were you setting out to write? I mean, did you think of a song for Ringo in the first place, or what?
I just sort of thought we'd have to have a song that was sort of a bit of fantasy in it, you know, and the only way to do that would be to have it so kids could understand it, and anyone could take it on any level. Multi-level song.
And the winner for 1966 was Michelle. So once again, statuettes go to John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
Did you do them?
All right. Hold on now.
Macca.
city on a campus strut. Jolly good. And I want to drink my barbecue in B minor. And we're going to take real Kansas City.
I think they had a very hard time last year. There was those strange rumours about them breaking up. And I thought that I scotched the rumours in London with various announcements, and I even got them not to say anything about it because it was all so stupid. I don't think that it's wonder that any of them, after that, took what you might call long vacations. Paul did, in fact, write a film score. George did go to India for several weeks, and John did make a film.
I'm delighted that everything is status quo as far as the relationship and their being together and you with
everything
them.
is and everything was. There was not even so much as a row. That's the ridiculous thing about it. It doesn't really matter what a thing is based on or what it's about, or analysing things that people put on record, particularly music more than anything else. I mean, their music has been analysed, God knows, sort of everywhere and by everybody. But it doesn't matter because it still provides something.
Well,
which is
I
good.
think that before they were pointed in whether or not it was just creating a song or creating it from some sort of experience.
Creating, well, I don't know, and I don't think that I should really comment, but I suppose that it's creating a song at the time that they're creating it. And this being a good time for them, as was I Want to Hold Your Hand, presumably a good time for them, is just as important.
This is the danger of anyone like me ever opening my mouth. I can say a thing, and you can come back at me and say, "Well, look, you shouldn't have said you've had sex, Paul, because it's going to make everyone break out in spots and everyone going to run around having sex." But if you ask me, then I'm going to say, "Yeah, I have." And if you ask me about drugs, I'm going to say, "Yeah, I have," because I'm not going to tell you a lie. It doesn't do me any good. Doesn't do you any good.
But as a public figure, surely you've got a responsibility to lots and
No,
lots
it's
of
you've
teenagers.
got the responsibility. You've got the responsibility not to spread this now. I'm quite prepared to keep it as a very personal thing, if you will too. If you'll shut up about it, I will.
John, where would you be today without Mr. Epstein?
I don't know.
Are you driving down to London tonight?
Yes, somebody's taking us down here.
You heard the news this afternoon, I believe.
Yes.
And Paul's already gone down?
Yes.
I see. Had you told him very much about the spiritual regeneration movement?
Well, as much as we'd learned about spiritualism and various things of that nature, then we'd tried to pass on to him, and he was equally as interested as we are, as everybody should be. He wanted to know about life as much as we do.
Had you spoken to him since since you became interested this weekend?
No.
I spoke to him Wednesday evening, the evening before we first saw Maharishi's lecture, and he was in great spirits.
I understand that this afternoon Maharishi conferred with you all. Could I ask you what advice he offered you?
He told us not to get overwhelmed by grief, and to whatever thoughts we have of Brian, to keep them happy, because any thoughts we have of him will travel to him wherever he is.
Had he ever met Mr. Epstein?
No, but he was looking forward to meeting him.
Tell us something about the storyline. Well, you see, it's about a group of common garden strange people on a coach tour around anywhere, really. And things happen to them, you see.
It's actually going to be shown on television.
Yes, on the TV.
On BBC Two, in colour?
We don't know which.
Because I've just got a colour set, and if I can't see it in colour, I've got to send it back.
Well, you can come to the sort of press showing.
About 3 years ago, you said we will certainly not be 30-year-old Beatles. Well, what's going to happen then in 3 years' time? Are you going to become Stones or something?
Possibly. Well, look, actually, we said we don't see ourselves singing She Loves You at 30 was the actual quote.
Oh, I'm
Hansard,
sorry,
page
John.
49, chapter 2, verse 3.
Sorry about that.
So we won't be singing She Loves You at 30, but whether we're singing Wackiki Wacky Woo or something, that's another
It's a great
story.
title.
You like it?
Yeah.
When are you going to do a wireless program? Because you're good at wireless programs, aren't you?
Yeah, well, we thought of doing the wireless, actually. We had thought of looking into the wireless, because there's a lot of possibilities, you know.
Listen, what you ought to do, far be it from me, but...
Far be it.
Yeah, just get a tape recorder, and you and Paul and all the others, and just gabble for about 8 hours, and then...
Well, we've got a lot of that lying around the house, actually.
Listen, you. What? When we did that interview with John Lennon, I was there too. Why have I not just been on the wireless with you two talking?
You, Chris, are lying on the editing room floor.
In that case, a quick whistle from Paul McCartney. Lovely.